What is going on, guys? Kenny here from 619 Guitars and Gear, and in today's video, by popular demand, we're going to do a rig rundown style video where we're going to dive in and check out my rig and my signal chain and basically just everything I use to do my demos when I do review videos and stuff like that. A lot of you have been commenting on my videos recently, complimenting me on my tone and just asking me what I'm using, so I figured why not check it out together. So as always, let's jump into it. Basically, since I've started making YouTube videos, I've pretty much always used amp sims as my go-to to do like guitar demos and reviews and everything. You know, it's super easy. You just kind of, open up Pro Tools or whatever DAW you're using, and you open up the amp sim as a plugin. It's ready to go, and it's just really easy to use. And for 90% of my videos on my channel, that's what I went with. And I'd always get a pretty decent tone out of them. I have a go-to sound that whether I'm using an amp or an amp sim, I can pretty much dial in. Obviously, the amp and the head and cab is going to sound more genuine than a plugin would, but for the most part, I got it to be pretty good. But recently, I kind of got to thinking, I have this really nice EVH head and my Randall cab with the vintage 30s in it, and I have this new Headrush MX5. Why not try to utilize this stuff to use in my demo and videos? When I'm sitting in here playing, it sounds amazing, so why not have that sound in my videos and demos and stuff? So kind of did some thinking, put together a pretty decent setup with some trial and error, different mic positions, different mics in general, just trying different things, different signal chains, and I think I came up with something that's pretty good, honestly. And I've used it for some videos here and there without saying anything to you guys. I just wanted to see if you would notice, and definitely I realized that those videos got a lot of comments on them, just people asking what I'm using and complimenting me on my tone, which is kind of what I was hoping for, so I can see which one, if you could really hear a difference. And it seems like you definitely could. So what I want to do is just kind of give you the rundown and show you exactly what I'm using. We'll take the camera off the tripod here, and I will walk you through my whole signal chain and setup. And then I put together a little demo that I made with that current setup. And then maybe we'll do some standalone guitar stuff with just, no full mix, just the guitar by itself. But let's take the camera off the tripod and check it out. All right, so we got the camera off the tripod here. Now, it is a fairly simple setup, nothing too crazy. If you can get your hands on a little small mixer, that's a plus. And then depending on what effects processor you have, most of the newer ones, you can utilize the 4-cable method with it, and just makes things a lot easier. I love the 4-cable method. I will try to explain what it is or set a diagram up on the screen so you can see how it's set up, but it's a fairly simple setup here. So let's pretty much start at the guitar end. Obviously the guitar itself doesn't matter, but we're using my 7-string right now. That's what I recorded this demo with. So you have the 1/4-inch cable coming out of the output of the guitar, and then that is going into the input of the Headrush MX5. And like I said, the MX5 is set up using the 4-cable method. So you have the output of the guitar going into the input of the Headrush, and then you have the output of the Headrush is going into the return of the EVH head, and then the send of the Headrush is going into the input of the EVH head, and then the return of the Headrush is going into the send of the EVH head. So what that allows is for you to just put stuff in front of the amp and in the effects loop at the same time, utilizing one of these little effects loop blocks that you just drop in the chain there. And I just have, some time-based stuff like reverb and delays in the effects loop, and then overdrive and, drop tune pedal and stuff like that. in front of the amp. So I really love the way it's set up and the way it works and the way it sounds, obviously. And I just made a little loom. I put all the cables in a cable sleeve, just in case if I play live or anything, it's nice and neat. But that's ran behind the desk, so you can't really see it or anything. And then that's just going to the EVH. It's my EVH 5153. It is the lbx-s for stealth. It's the 15-watt lunchbox head. I love this thing. I've had it for, I think, a year now, and I absolutely love this thing, which is why I wanted to start utilizing it in my videos. So the Headrush plugged into there, and then that is plugged into this Randall cab. And in the Randall 4x12, I actually just have two vintage 30s. One's in the lower left-hand corner where the mic is, and then one's in the top right-hand corner. I've always just ran two speakers in this cab, and it sounds amazing. I honestly, I had four in there, and I didn't like the way it sounded. It kind of just didn't sound as clear, and it still sounds nice and full, and you can really get a good feel for the amp and just get a really good low end and mid sound, even with just two speakers. So I really love the way this thing sounds. So then I just have it mic'd with an Shure SM57, a little bit offset. It's not dead center of the cone, obviously. You never really want to do that unless you want like a really high-end, thin-sounding sound coming to your microphone. I did have another microphone that I had blended in there, but honestly, I ended up taking it away because the Shure SM57 by itself was honestly the best. You couldn't really beat it. So I have that mic'd, and then the cable is going into this old cheap Mackie 5-channel mixer. Honestly, you can get one anywhere now. They're so cheap. Behringer makes them. I mean, I think you can get like a 36-channel Behringer board now for like $400, like $350, $400. So it's coming a long way. I've had this thing forever, so I kind of just use it in line. I'd like to have a little bit more control, so that's why I didn't go directly into my interface with the microphone. I like to have a little bit control before I even get to the interface, so that's why I use the mixer. And I do have the main EQ bypassed, but I am using a little bit of EQing before I get to the interface, just with the channel strip that the mic is plugged into. And then I have the cable coming out of the main right out, and then that is going into channel 1 of my Focusrite. So super simple setup. To me, it sounds really, really good, and seems like a few of you guys agree. So real quick, I put together a little demo for you guys so you can see what it sounds like, and then we'll play a little bit of guitar by itself. All right, so now we're just going to do guitar just by itself. I just have to press record. Everything's turned on, ready to go. I'm just going to play a little bit, nothing too fancy. It might not be perfect, but you'll get the idea of exactly what it sounds like. Now, as far as post and Pro Tools, I'm doing nothing but a tiny, tiny bit of compression and a high and low cut on the EQ. That's it. I'm not adding, I'm not making anything sound fancy. So basically the sound that you're getting is exactly what is coming out of the cab, but I just do a little bit of high and low cut just to filter out some of the unwanted crap that you really don't need to hear anyway. So let's press record and check it out. All right, well, that's basically it for this video. You got a basic idea of everything I'm using and what everything sounds like. It's, like I said, nothing too crazy, but hopefully that answers some of your guys' questions. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching. As always, sorry, there's been a little bit of gap in videos. It's been like 2 weeks since I did one. Things just got kind of crazy for the last 2 weeks and been kind of really busy. So try to do it when I can, but we're going to keep cranking out videos as I do. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. As always, stay safe, be healthy, be a good person, and drink a lot of water. So see you in the next one.